Okay, back to work. And, we as human beings can't be concerned about what people are still doing for money. You can't let that concern you. You can't let that make you bitter and angry and vicious. The technology needs a standard. It needs a guiding light to help save people from the irrational traps that we built for the soul with the mind over thousands of years through group selfishness and acceptance of that selfishness. And so, um, uh, I really do. I hope that we can have radical change, and that the technology can help us reflect the ways of the messiahs and stop all the irrational movement of irrational economic activity, because it's very bad for our ecosystem, our planet, and our species, and most of all, it's bad for our children. Children need protection, and if you're doing things that are selfish and aggressive and irrational, then children need protection from the adults that cannot protect them from themselves. And that's what early bird's all about. That's what I'm about. My how much, forget how much I love babies, but babies need a functional ecosystem that's protected by the truth of faithful love. And without the truth of faithful love, this precious gift of life that we have is 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 horribly disregarded and disrespected. And empathy and respect is paramount in helping technology reflect the beauty of eternal perfect fathers, so women can have their virtue back and focus more on being a human being that is loving and being loved, and less on a human being distracted by the egos of man. And men, you have a responsibility, as as like I said, this with DNA interfacing, just by the mere construct of the gift of sexual reproduction. She's a receiver and you're a transmitter. So everything you put into her, okay, you will get back from her. And so if you want your children to be faithful, if you want your wife to be faithful, you're going to have to be truthful and honor the truth of creation and the value of this precious life. Right? Okay, guys? So you got to understand, man, I was just watching the little news thing, and the little girl from ASU's, with her kid is so cute. He's a handsome little fellow. And she's going to Las Vegas, continue her extortion gigging and all this mind manipulation and this mind abuse from all these military eunuchs in close proximity. And, you cannot wish wrong things for people. It's wrong to acquit the guilty and deny justice to the innocent. And the poor plead for mercy, and the rich answer with insults. And the wealthy are fools who imagine their wealth is a high wall of safety. And it's not wealth. That's probably a mistranslation. The selfish are fools who imagine their selfishness is a high wall of safety. I think that's a more appropriate way to say it. Because wealth is humble understanding of truth, faithful love, and the understanding of natural laws that provide our lives and what we need to faithfully love one another. So calling idolatry and manipulation through idolatry of invention wealth it's just not, that's not Solomon, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably a mistranslation by the selfish to make it look like there's some wealthy people that aren't selfish. And like Jesus told us, it's where they asked him, what are the chances of a rich person getting into the kingdom of heaven? About the same chance as a gamal with all your gold and everything getting through the eye of a sewing needle, which is, it ain't gonna happen. Okay, so it's heaven and hell being states of being that we live when we accept righteousness and good over bad and selfishness. And hell is being denied righteousness and love and faithfulness, and regardless of the conditions. You can be a heavenly person trapped in hell because of the selfishness of others that deny the truth of creation and the faithful love that comes from having faith in the truth of creation, right? So I'm gonna load this one up. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. We got good rain, man. We almost got about a half an inch. It's like right, just which is nice. It was really nice. It came and cooled off everything, and it's down in the 70s, so it makes it real good sleeping weather. And the oxygen levels are really good. And the plants, I was going to water them, but I didn't have to, which was really nice. And so hopefully we'll hope for a little bit more rain here this next week to help this parched land help the people survive and be healthy just a little bit better while we're waiting for the technology to be able to, I don't want to say catch up. Submit to faith in the truth of creation isn't catching up. It's just being able to be humble enough and have the capacity to be, a beauty of the reflection of the faithful that, give us the ability to really share the gift of life in the best possible way we can. So I dropped out of ASU my senior year because they told me about the economic, the competition that you needed to fight for to teach history. And I said, well, that's wrong because economic competition is genocidal. And every time we fight, when we're teaching, the lesson is to learn, not to compete and not learn from the lessons. So when you when you were studied history and you saw all the mistakes in history, I had very good professors, Professor Laverine, Professor Barnes, Hendrickson, Sorgel, Simpson was a good guy. But you got to understand, not everybody has the same aptitude as the guy like Adam Moses, David Jesus, John, Job, Jonas. So not everybody has the same aptitude as I do. Not everybody has the eternal, faithful communications in prayer and meditation that I do. So there is no test. Once you have faith in the truth of creation and you're a faithful lover, you exceed most people's capacity to understand meaning and truth and knowledge and whatever you would refer to it as, is because it's earned. And like Jesus said, pray in private, and your Father who sees in private will reward you openly. So as you take your next steps in life, know that if you pray to your spirit of your Father and it's earnest and you mean it and you want the best for your children and for the people that bring you comfort and joy, so when you pray, just know that the spirit of the Father goes with you, right? So I just did a connection to I was doing a connection all day on my Xbox to pass responsibility onto other people so they could help more and spread more light to living the truth of the Lord's Prayer more rapidly. And the university I decided to choose with putting James Bordeaux recruiting limitations on, which worked out pretty good though, was Sam Boyd Stadium. And now I'm going to Sonny Lubeck, U Stadium. Yeah. Well, those are old stadiums that got thrown out because of economic conflict instead of just, hey, let's go to the game because they're not charging money. So let's go enjoy kids playing football and nobody trying to hurt nobody because, it ain't about money. It's about just exercise and love of life. So I'm working on it. We'll get this fixed. And man, I'm perfect like the others before me. And once this technology understands that and helps us do this, people, after Earl's life, it'll be just like, wow, people will be so much more wonderful, so much more wonderful to be around, so much wonderful to live with. When you understand the Lord's Prayer, it applies in physics and its perfect freedom from selfishness of invention and idolatry and that horrible sin, it's going to be really cool. So just, focus. I told my dad that when I was fixing the air conditioner scheme and sitting on the couch. I said, I know that Jesus' commands are perfect. And I know that's freedom from all this abuse. And I know it's going to happen. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. This to the present civilization. it cannot last. It's based solely on human greed and not human need. And so when we're doing things on human need, life's going to be a lot better. You guys, it'll be different, but it's going to be more fun than it is drudgery. Right now it's drudgery because people are dying and we all feel it. And people are being murdered and we all feel it. And we try radically to distract ourselves with superficiality and keep ourselves constantly distracted with superficiality, as opposed to understanding the true meaning of our existence and what is needed in our thoughts, words, and actions to reflect the beauty of the true meaning of our existence. Okay, guys? I love you very much, and, como la flor, Okay, guys? I love you. Peace out, man.